Bolt your windows. Lock your doors. Check your closets. Look under your bed. And then prepare yourself. For it's another episode of Dark Night of the Podcast.
Happy birthday to you. Or me. Or neither of us. Because it's neither of us' birthdays. But hey.
But we're getting presents nonetheless.
We are getting presents nonetheless. And we are getting the biggest gift of all in this film. Happy birthday to me.
Yeah, we're giving a gift to our listeners is what we're doing by reviewing this title. Good choice, Troy.
Yeah, well, this was requested. So... thank you, David, for requesting happy birthday to me. Yeah.
David, a fan.
A fan.
I feel so famous, so popular.
But this was a movie that I probably would have wanted to cover eventually anyway. So I'm glad that we're doing it now.
Yeah.
For
absolutely.
our, I believe, 18th episode.
Oh my God. I'm feeling so old. Our podcast is growing before our very eyes and ears.
18 of these we've done.
She's legal now. Everybody, she's legal. Happy birthday to her.
There you go. So, we're covering the 1981 slasher flick, Happy Birthday to Me, if you didn't guess already. And this is a lot, so we're going to get into it because this film is a doozy. But, right away, I mean, is there anything real quick that you want to share?
Well, I'm leaving for Colombia on Wednesday, and I'm going to be gone for a week. So, listeners, if there's a little lull, a little gap between this and our next episode, that's on me. I'm going to be in South America living it up. So don't blame Troy. Blame me.
Blame him. He's going to be frolicking with Shakira.
What are you? I can't wait. It'll be great. We do already have our next titles lined up for when I return, and we will dive right back into it. So don't think that it's going to be a long wait, but there may be a couple days there between this and the next. How about you, Troy? How are you? What's new?
Nothing. Really nothing. I mean, it doesn't seem like that long ago we recorded our final exam episode. So between now and then, nothing exciting.
That's because we've been consistent because we're real podcasters now.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
and we're doing it.
Real podcasters.
We live that life.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know. I feel so professional.
Yeah, me too. It's cool. So, yeah, I'm just trying to think. Was there anything new? No. Like I said, it's been same old work and just ready to travel. I booked some trips, so I'm excited about that. Yeah, hopefully they happen.
They will. Be confident. Have faith. I just got my second vaccine. I got a little sick the other day. But now I'm ready to take on the world. Well, unless the world fucks me over and spits in my face and throws something else out at me that I have no control over. But right now I feel confident that traveling is going to slowly but surely become more and more possible. If I didn't think that, I wouldn't be going to South America. So yeah, the only thing I'm paranoid about is, and when you travel, make sure you do this too. And listeners, Roger's Corner, a little bit of knowledge. Make sure you get your COVID testing secured and taken care of before you leave the country, because it is a whole lot of nonsense and it is very stressful. I'm losing hair over it. I've taken tests. I took one at Walgreens. I took one at Rite Aid. I have backups in case they decline one. I'll say, but wait, I have this. It's very stressful. So that's the one thing I will say to you, Troy, is when you travel, make sure you just get your ducks in a row. My God.
Yeah.
I'm going.
Well, I'm not going anywhere. Well, yeah. In July, I have a trip out of the country booked, but in December. So hopefully by then things will be a little bit more calm. But yeah. So that sounds fun. I will definitely look forward to it. I'm sure the listeners will look forward to seeing all your pictures from Colombia. That'll be
Oh,
fun.
I know. I can't wait to spread it. I can't wait to spread it. I'm curious. What are you traveling for? Any special
No
event?
special event. Just because my travel last year was fucked. Every place I was supposed to go last year didn't happen. I was supposed to go to Switzerland last year. Switzerland, France, Italy. That was in March. That was right when COVID hit, so that got canceled. I was going to go to Hawaii over the summer. That did not happen. I was going to go to Canada. That did not happen. So I booked a trip to Alaska next month. And then,
Oh,
yeah, then
glamour.
Mexico in July and Japan in December. So,
Ooh. Where are you going? Where in
just
Mexico are you
Riviera
going?
Maya. Yeah.
Gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, I'm going to Cancun
Cancun's fun.
next
Yeah.
month.
That's
So,
the same.
oh, I've never been. I've never been. Well, my birthday's in July, so I'm considering it a little bit of an early birthday
Okay. Well,
gift.
there you go.
It's my way of saying happy birthday to me.
You and Melissa Sue. Ugh.
Oh, that dame. I can't wait to crack this one open. Cut into it like a birthday cake.
Cut into it like a birthday cake because this one is, it's a long one, and you are going to have to figure out if we are going to love this film or are we going to skewer it.
Oh my god. I was not prepared for that. God, you win today.
I thought about that. That took me a while to
You've
come
had
up
that in
with
your
that.
pocket for months, I know
I
it.
did. I did.
Okay. Let's get this ball rolling.
Yes. So happy birthday to me. The film begins with a beautiful, I love this piano score that plays over this opening shot of this preparatory school called Crawford Academy.
Troy's theme for the week, by the way, college campuses with bell towers.
Yeah. Oh, yes. There you go. I didn't even think about that. You were
I
right.
am.
Yes, because there's a whole bell tower scene in this film that actually does not have anything to fucking do with
Oh
the
my
movie.
god.
But we'll
The
get to
only
that.
other movie that will be added to this list is Urban Legend 2 Final Cut.
Right. Right. So yeah, it's Crawford Academy, and we get a beautiful piano score, very haunting. Although I guess I read something that when the DVD release came out in the early 2000s, they had eliminated this piano score and replaced it with like a disco theme score. Yeah, and I would be curious to hear. Yeah, I'm like, how does that even fit? But whatever. The version we're talking about is the original that has this beautiful haunting score, piano string score over the opening scene. And it's a beautiful sweep of Crawford Academy. It's a huge campus, beautiful kind of Victorian Gothic looking buildings. And we go in and we focus on a young lady leaving one of the buildings. It's late at night. And as she's walking by herself, she gets attacked by a beautiful little bulldog, I believe. His name's Winston, right?
Yes, who is one of my favorite characters.
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
film.
yeah. And she falls on the ground, and we find out that Winston belongs to Mrs. Patterson.
My kind of dame with that hat.
She has a hat. She has her little bulldog. She is not even concerned that the bulldog attacked Bernadette. Well, the girl's Bernadette. That's her name, Bernadette. And she's played by Leslie Donaldson, who is kind of a little 80s scream queen herself. She was in, Curtains.
Oh, we
Yeah,
love
she's the
Curtains.
broad that gets on the ice skates. Yes, and then she was in Funeral Home. So yeah, she has a lot of '80s. She's done a lot of '80s horror stuff. But she basically when she's laying on the ground without Mrs. Patterson's apology, Miss Patterson starts scolding her for going to the inn with the other Crawford top 10.
Mrs. Patterson is a no-nonsense kind of woman. She's got some cold as ice lesbian vibes about her. She gives me a Tilda Swinton kind of androgynous vibe almost. She's got like the short silver white hair. At times she speaks in different languages. She speaks in French at one point in the film, and she doesn't give a fuck about these kids. Well, no, I don't want to say she doesn't give a fuck. She just finds them horribly obnoxious. And you don't fuck with this woman, and I like her. I really wish there was more of her in the movie.
She gets a couple scenes and then just kind of, goes to the wayside. So we find out about this Crawford top 10, which is apparently like the 10 most popular wealthy students at this academy, which I am assuming, I have questions about this. I'm assuming it's a high school.
I'm so
Yes,
thrown off
because
about what kind of, it's like a prep school,
but are
maybe? But all
these high school?
they can't be.
Well, but Melissa Sue Anderson's character is only. I thought they said she was turning 17.
I guess so, but even when they show her in flashbacks, she looks like she's 21.
Well, all of the characters look like they're 40. She looks, but
yeah.
I'm assuming it's a high school because, yeah, it's weird.
But it definitely has a collegiate vibe to the campus. It's so big.
It does, but then there's other things that go on where it's like, okay, this is a high school. And like I said, I think it's mentioned that she's turning 17. So I don't know. But anyways, it's really confusing whether this is a high school or what it is. But apparently, if it's a high school, it's okay for kids to go out to a bar late at night
that
and
does
drink.
Not make sense to me at all.
But anyways, Mrs. Patterson scolds Bernadette. Bernadette gets up and Mrs. Patterson's like, "Don't you stay out too late," and turns around and walks away. And Bernadette kind of mocks her. And as Bernadette, she goes to her car, which is literally parked 10 miles away, like in the most obscure, like I saw, okay, when the film opened, we saw the campus. There were plenty of places to park. She literally parks 10 miles away, like in the most secluded, like
surrounded with like shrubs. It's very ominous.
Shrubs and like cement trucks. And it's just, where the hell did you park, lady? But she gets into her car and she is immediately someone's in her backseat and immediately is strangled and pulled into the backseat. And I love this scene is actually pretty cool. The way it's drawn out, the killer pulls her into the backseat and her legs are kicking. It's very effectively done. It looks really realistic and brutal. The killer gets her into the backseat and really, it's really cool. It's a really interesting shot of her feet are like kicking the back passenger door. Until the passenger door comes open, but the killer is like strangling her even harder and she goes lifeless. And her feet are like dangling out of the back door. It's really, really a kind of a spooky looking shot.
Yeah, you even see like the heels of the shoe. You at one point see them like hitting the roof of the car, the ceiling of the car, and it's like scraping the suede interior. It's you see chokes. We've seen a lot of choke scenes done in our day. Every movie has a choke. But this one stands out because you're right. It's very it's drawn out and it's, she sees some kids walking by and she's like trying to hit the wheel, trying to honk the horn for their attention and she just can't get their attention and she's, kicking on the door, trying to kick the glass and it's not working. She's trying everything you would think to do in this situation and it's just not. It's not working for her.
Well, she does something really smart. It's like she is the smartest like slasher character in history when she's in the car.
Yeah.
The second she gets out of the car, she becomes the dumbest slasher character in history.
Yes.
Because what she does is she plays dead. So she acts like she's dead, and then as the killer kind of releases the grip on her, she like punches the fucking killer off of her and takes off out of the car. And literally, like I said, it goes from her being extremely smart to her being extremely stupid because she literally walks 5 feet and stops. And it's like, oh my God, somebody help me. It's like, bitch, help yourself, run. Why did you just stop? 5 feet away from the car. And she's crying. She's just standing there. And of course, the killer grabs her and she gets away again. And what does she do?
She stops.
She runs another 5 feet and stops. And
I'd be sprinting. I'm just full on sprinting across that campus.
Why are you stopping? And she's like, help me. Run. You have a whole area to run to and you just stopped twice. Anyway, so she kind of stumbles forward and then we see a figure emerge in front of her. And right away we kind of know, we assume it's the killer, but then she's like, oh, it's you. Help me, please help me. So we know that she recognizes the person, right? Mm-hmm. So that's played pretty well, except the person has a straight razor and slits little Bernadette O'Hara's throat wide open.
Yeah.
And cool opening. I like the opening a lot. I think it's really effective. I just little gripes about like why didn't she run? I mean, she could have ran instead of stopping twice.
Yeah. I wonder if that's more of an issue with editing because like the you can't really see much of the layout of where she's running, but you can see she's running around vehicles, and I wonder if it's just more of how they edited that sequence. Because you're right, it seems that like they gave her some pretty good impulses, especially within the vehicle, to defend herself, and it seemed like a really It seems so weird. I noticed that she like stops and she's like looking behind her. I'm like, aren't you in plain sight of the killer? You're not even hiding.
No.
Yeah. But I will say my I have a soft spot for the name Bernadette in my heart. I went to St. Bernadette's. It was my grade school, and because of that, my first drag queen name was Bernadette.
jeez.
So when I heard this name, I there was a little twinkle in my eye.
And it's the most like Southern name.
Oh, it's so horrible. It's not a good drag queen name at all.
Well, no, her Bernadette in the movie. It's Bernadette O'Hara.
Bernadette
Like she would be like the fourth Golden Girl. That would be like a Golden Girl's name. Bernadette O'Hara.
Absolutely.
Blanche's best friend.
It's unfortunate that she was brutally killed. Though I will say I do really like her reactions. Her eyes are like bloodshot, and she's weeping and crying, and it is a really good opening scene in general. I even have the note like that's how you do an opening.
Yeah, it's really good.
Give me a chase. Give me some fight. Give me some brutality. Yeah, I was pretty happy with it.
Yeah, it's good. So once she's dead, we scan over to like this boat, like this industrial looking boat dock where there's like ferries and barges, and this is where the inn is that these Crawford 10 go every night to drink, even though I think they're in high school. And it's called the Vanishing Lady. Which is just so funny. It sounds like a drag bar too.
It does.
The Vanishing Lady. Bernadette is performing at the Vanishing Lady tonight at 7 p.m. Be there.
I can't wait. Let me get my heels.
Right. So, and then we go in and we meet the whole group. They're sitting at a table, and there's like this obnoxious, I don't know, what are they? What do you call these?
Oh God, they're
Shriners. I could not think of that. I was like, what? Shriner. A whole table of Shriners singing the 50 bottles of beer on the wall, 50 bottles the whole time, and it's pissing the
high school students.
The high school students off. And then we get introduced to Jenny, Virginia Wainwright. These are all very Southern names, but I don't. But I love it. Like
well, I think they're all supposed to be like the upper echelon, the rich, and they sound it. They sound it for sure. The names are all very like.
But it's the lovely Melissa Sue Anderson, Mary Ingalls.
Yes. God, she's beautiful.
She is, and it's really, this was her first film role. Outside of Lost in the Prairie, this was her first film. So, yeah. So it's good to see her in something like this because, she's such you think of Melissa Sue Anderson and you just think of Mary Ingalls. Yeah. So it's kind of cool to see her do something a little bit different. And then did you ever see that made for TV movie she did back in like the early 80s called Midnight Offerings?
I did not know.
It's where she plays a witch.
Oh no.
High school. It's a high school. She's a witch, and then a new girl shows up that's a witch. And there's like this epic like telekinetic fight scene in like the school wood shop, and there's like chainsaws. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, it's really cool.
Sounds right up my alley.
Yeah, right. So basically, this scene is just to get us introduced to all of the characters.
Yes.
So Virginia shows up. There is Alfred.
Yeah.
Who is like he looks so much like Keith from the actor Keith. What's his last name? He played in Christine and The Legend of Billie Jean. You know what I'm talking about?
I can't think of the name though.
Yeah, he looks. That's who it looks like. The guy that plays Arnie and Christine, and he was also in Legend of Billie Jean. Keith something or other. I don't remember.
It's gonna come. It'll come to you like 45 minutes into this podcast.
Yeah. But that's just who I kept thinking of. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's the dude from Christine, but it's not. Keith Gordon. Yeah. Anyway, so his whole thing is he's bringing like this little rat. He brings a rat into the bar, and George the rat. And in the meantime, there is the big blonde-headed buff dude named Greg, who gets up and proceeds to attack the Shriners for singing the 50 bottles of beer on the wall, 50 bottles.
Because they restart.
They do it like 50. Yeah, it's annoying. They do it like 50 times.
I would kick their asses too. It was so fucking obnoxious.
It was super obnoxious. But the other dude, one of the other members, is like, Greg pulls him back, and he apologizes to the Shriners and offers to buy him a beer. And this is a ruse to pull a prank on them that I thought was kind of a shitty prank, not necessarily for. I felt bad for the rat, because what they do is they order a pitcher of beer for the Shriner table, and then they proceed to put George the rat in the beer and give it to...
Poor George. He's not there to harm anybody.
No, he's a rat. Leave him alone.
He's very well behaved. And everybody in the group seems to know and like George. I really quick want to point out this whole thing, like leading up to this sequence. This location, already at this point in the film, the locations and the cinematography really kind of took me by surprise. I have to state this. Leading up to this whole big moment, this whole big climactic moment, this movie definitely does not feel small budget in any way. I don't know what the budget of this film is, but it's one of the bigger budget slashers I feel like I've seen from that era. And scene 2, it already shows, from the costuming to the flowetry of the cinematography to the score. Right off the bat, they're making it clear that this is quite a grand production. And so I wasn't trying to step on what you were saying. I really want to get that thought out with this moment. The second scene already, like when you're meeting all the lead characters, there's all this commotion in the bar. It's almost kind of hard to like figure out the names of the characters because there's just so much going on, but it's partially because it's shot really well. It almost makes me think of the chaotic energy and like The Thing, when you're kind of meeting all of the characters for the totally different scenario, different vibe, but like the kind of chaotic, like the way that they're filming this, and they're all around this table talking and chatting, and there's all the music going on and everything. I really enjoy how they start this film off.
Yes, the film is, definitely has a big budget feel. And that's because it's Columbia Pictures put it out. So you know that they were going to put some money into it. It's not like one of those straight direct to DVD type films or films by a small production company like Final Exam that nobody had ever heard of. And you also have a very talented, seasoned director behind this film, J. Lee Thompson, who perhaps before this film, he's directed a shit ton of films in the 50s and 60s. Probably the one he was best known for was he directed the original Cape Fear.
Oh, wow.
With, Robert Mitchum. Yeah. So, you have a talented director, a very seasoned director behind this. And it definitely shows. Some of these shots in the film, some of the setup for the shots is just something that you don't see in a slasher film.
Yeah, because around the Shriners and everything as the commotion is building, they're doing a lot of like sweeping camera movements, gliding by the Shriners over to the kids, pushing in on different moments and everything. There's a lot of really fluid camera work. It's really nice, and this whole scene is a really good example of that.
It is, and then the following scene, right? This following scene right away lets you know that this film has some money behind it, because after the commotion of this whole little sort of bar brawl, which, you don't get to know really any of the characters that well in this particular scene, which is, maybe a little bit of an issue because it is the first time you're being introduced to this group of characters, and it's sort of like it's not used as character introductions. It's used more as a, scene to, show some action,
Yeah.
But so really right away, I'm like, these are some unlikable characters just because of what they pull in the bar. But they run out of the bar after like literally the bar, people have been like throwing tables over and stuff, and they get in all of their cars, and Virginia Jenny is pushed into a car with
Is it Steve?
Greg. It's Greg.
It's Greg. Yeah.
So yeah, Anne pushes Melissa, or I keep going to call her Melissa. Pushes Jenny into the car with Greg, and I guess there's this whole game they play. That the bars are like on the opposite side of this bridge, and this bridge is very prominent in this film. It's like one of those drawbridges. Not a drawbridge, but it's a bridge that opens up to let barges through. I mean, I had one in my hometown. I grew up in Davenport, Iowa. Across the Mississippi, we had it. I remember having to stop and wait for the bridge to open and close to let the barges through. So the bridge opens up. Okay, so what they do is when they see the bridge open up, they have this whole like game, and they even bet on it, where they are going to drive across the bridge and jump the bridge. A couple of the cars go and make it because the bridge isn't open that far. The one guy is going to do it, but he sees he's like, no, screw this. The bridge, it's too much. It's open too much. However, Greg doesn't care and proceeds to jump the bridge, and the car literally like flies in the air and lands like nose first into the street, and he totals his car. Wrecks it, and like pulls away and like gets out, and like nobody seems concerned that the car just was totaled. Like they don't even mention it.
Well, let alone like the people in that vehicle. Like, I'm sorry, if there were people in that car, they'd be thrown around like fucking rag dolls.
Yeah,
like,
that's another thing. It's like none of them had seatbelts on, if you noticed, and then but none of them like flew out the window or anything. Like it was it's so funny because I noticed that. I'm like, okay, they don't have seatbelts on. There's 3 people in the front of this car. The car. Yeah. This scene is elaborate. Like this was a major stunt that probably took a couple days to film, if not more. Right. And so literally the car, when you see the scene, the car lands almost perpendicular straight in there on its nose and like shatters everything. And yeah, none of these kids fly through the windshield. They're all fine. Except Jenny is freaking out. She like is totally freaking out, and she gets out of the car and runs into the woods.
A reasonable response, dare I say. Yeah, I think what this scene was supposed to kind of maybe imply, because when I watched this, I was, in my mind, I think I at one point heard one of them say, like, I think Greg says, like, you owe me $20. And I'm like, $20 for like that volume of damage, that amount of damage to your vehicle? How is it worth it? But I think it's almost maybe kind of meant to display just how wealthy these kids are. That this is kind of like disposable to them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it could be because because he doesn't seem, like I said, he doesn't seem shook up that he just like totally wrecked the front end and neither do any of the other characters. So it must it must have been like,
oh, daddy'll fix it kind of situation. Yeah.
So Jenny runs into the woods, and we learn that she lives through the woods
by a cemetery. A very dramatic cemetery.
And her mother just happens to be buried there. So we find out that her mother is dead. And as she's running away, we have to mention the character of Anne, like gives her this like ominous like stare as she's going into the woods. Yeah. Like it's like and it's not subtle at all.
No,
like it's not subtle at all. So you're like, okay, that's kind of odd. Mm-hmm. What's up with Anne? So as she is in the cemetery visiting her mother's grave, someone approaches her, and we see someone approaching her, and a black glove kind of grabs the branch and lifts it up so they can get a better view of her. A very, traditional slasher shot. We've seen that sort of same thing in Friday the 13th with a hand grabbing a tree branch and looking over. But that's a black glove. So there's elements of the giallo film in this as well. Very much so.
And this glove is a very popular glove. Several people in this film appear to own the same black leather glove because it comes up a lot.
They own the same, I don't know if you noticed this, they own the same black leather gloves, and they all own the same scarf.
Yes, that striped scarf, yeah.
The striped scarf. They all have this blue and light blue striped scarf. So after she kind of tells her mom, oh, I missed you so much, her mom's grave, she gets up and she heads home, and then out of nowhere, weird French guy grabs her. His name's Etienne. I don't speak French. Etienne, I think that's how they said it. Etienne.
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah, the French guy.
He's a real fucking creep.
He is a creep. He's like, oh, I'm not going to try a French accent, but he's like, oh, I could walk you home.
I specifically pointed out that line. Like, he looks at her in the creepiest way possible. He's like, I'll walk you home.
Yes.
and again, Virginia takes off running, and a few things are established early on in this film. A, Virginia has crazy eyes from right off the bat. She just is. She's got a crazy vibe, and as soon as you get her in the cemetery scene, you know there's something really off about her. She's talking to her mother's tombstone. She's having a conversation. She's clipping the grass around it. Like the transition from the flight from the car wreck where she books into the woods to like the mental state of trimming the grass around her mother's tombstone. It's like a light switch.
Yeah.
It's very weird. But so then, like, also, there's this trend that has started here with, like, a lot of the men in this film have a very weird, like, stalkery, creeper kind of obsession with Virginia.
It's not some of them, it's all of them.
It's literally every man in this film.
Well, and we'll get to it, but this film really wants to hit you over the head with the red herrings.
Oh my god, the red herrings are everywhere.
Big time. I have never seen a film with so many red herrings, or at least very blatant attempts to make a character a red herring. Yes. Even like the scene, even when I just was talking about with Anne and her stare, her ominous stare at Virginia, she runs away. It's not subtle at all. Like the camera is on her face for at least 15 seconds. And she has the most like malevolent stare on her face. And you're like, what is this about? I thought you guys were like best friends. And now you're looking at her like you literally want to kill her. And it never really comes up again.
Yeah.
And then the French guy, like when he sees her, it's like when the guys see Virginia outside of another person, they are the most creepy fucks to her.
They go into like full on like rape mode. It's very weird, and it's every man in this film, even her father.
I was just getting to that.
Yeah, that's a weird relationship.
Oh God, I was like, this is some incestuous looking bullshit.
The way that they like say goodnight to each other at one point, it's like, good night, Daddy. I love you. And I'm like, oh my God, this is giving me like Hello, Mary Lou, Prom Night 2 makeout sequence flashbacks.
But I want to know, why was this French guy just randomly in the middle of the cemetery?
Well, and then like, why does he do what he's about to do afterward?
Exactly. And literally, he's like, oh, I'll walk you home. Her house is like 10 feet away. Like, if you wanted to walk her home, you should have asked her at the frickin' inn, not when she's already at her front door. Oh, I'm going to walk you home. Anyway, so she goes into her house, and yes, this relationship with this father is just awkward.
And like the house,
awkward.
The house in general looks something straight out of Valley of the Dolls. It's like pink. It's very dramatic. Everything in this film looks a little bit larger than life. Again, big budget. But like, I mean, from the curtains to the decor, everything about this house is just extreme. And it makes the whole like energy between this father and daughter even creepier, because the whole house is a very like sex den kind of vibe. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it's like pink and red, and like it's so weird. It's just weird, everything about it.
Well, even this whole little scene where he is like, oh, you visited her grave again, didn't you? I told you not to do that anymore. You got to get over her. You have me now. And I'm like, that is not cool.
Yeah. I get what they were trying to go for with the father relationship. However, it doesn't land. It does just read sexual.
It doesn't play well at all. Yeah. And I don't know if...
It's supposed to be that he wasn't like in the picture, I think, at one point, and that she's resentful. But now, like they've formed, because of like the mother having obviously passed away, they've formed this different kind of relationship. But it really just reads like very like it reads like they're banging, and it's very weird.
It does, because she actually yells at him about, why, this was what you wanted. You're the one that said I can't visit my mom's grave. I don't know why you don't want me to visit her grave. Blah blah blah. And she starts to run up the stairs, and then he literally is like, Virginia, and like grabs her in the most like sexual embrace I think I've ever seen in a film.
Yeah.
Like pulls her literally, her face is literally a half inch from his. Yeah. He's like, you're my little girl. I'll do anything for you.
Oh, this father's selling Shakespearean vibes. Like he's really just giving his all and then some. It's chewing the scenery. But a lot of the adult actors in this film are a little bit bigger than they needed to be. And the dad is probably the biggest performance in this whole film. He has this weird, it's almost like an accent. Every Virginia, like everything he says kind of sounds like this. And it's all very pronounced. Virginia.
And this is when she's like, "Oh, Daddy, I know, I love you. I just want to, I just want to stay. I love this house." And then she goes up to the top of the stairs, and this is that awkward moment where she turns around and she's like, "Daddy, good night.
I love you, and I love you, Virginia."
Yes, it's so weird, so weird. Yeah, I don't know what they were trying to go for, but it totally lands as being very sexual.
Yeah, incestual. Yeah.
Anyway, so as she goes into her room, we see that the French guy has climbed up her terrace and has gotten into her bedroom.
I mean, as you do.
As you do. And he's in her room, and there is a long, drawn-out scene of her just, like, parading around in her room, doing random things.
She put some music on.
I
really thought she was, like, the way the music starts up, it's like... And I was like, is this going to be... like a Jamie Lee Curtis prom night dance number? Because like she like plants herself and she starts to like unbutton the top, and I was like, oh my god, if this bitch starts dancing. But no, she just takes her shirt off.
She takes her shirt off, she browses her closet, she looks at her records, Okay, so I'm saying this because this movie is just minutes shy of being 2 hours long.
Yeah.
And there are so many scenes, personally, I feel could have been cut. This easily could have been cut down to an hour and 30 minutes. I mean, and it would have been just the same effective film, because this scene goes on forever, and it's just her just doing random stuff. And then finally she takes her underwear off, leaves them on the floor. Then she goes into the shower. She comes out, her underwear are gone. The window all of a sudden is open again, because when she goes in her room, she sees the window's open. She closes it. She comes out of the shower, the window's open again. She runs over, closes it, backs into the bookshelf, and all of her books fall on the floor, and she screams.
It doesn't really go anywhere. You do see the French creeper like hit the ground and run off. She doesn't see it, but you as the viewer see it. But overall, yeah, it's never touched on again. And there are a lot of moments that like they will transition out of scenes into another moment, and they won't really like conclude the thought. And sometimes it makes sense because and at the end of the movie you kind of understand why they do that. Like, Virginia's character kind of has these moments where she'll have like memory lapses. Mm-hmm. She'll forget things. But then other times it's just like a transition. And sometimes it's a really cool transition. And sometimes it's just awkward.
Yeah.
And it really depends on the specific transition we're talking about. In this case, I do feel like this whole moment, like I was expecting it to build up to something. There's that whole kind of cool moment in the bathroom where you see the reflection of her in the mirror. Mm-hmm. And as she's like running, as she's, over the tub and everything, and you see the shot in the reflection. And I was really expecting something bigger to happen. But, yeah, she screams. She gives out like this blood-curdling scream, and there's just no follow-up on it.
There isn't. The scene literally cuts to the next day at school, and her and Anne are late, and they go into their, I guess, biology class, and they're late, and Miss Patterson is there giving the class a lecture about their behavior at the Vanishing Lady Inn the night before. That's why I'm thinking this is a high school, because I don't see, like, most colleges aren't going to have, mm-hmm. like, someone come and give kids lectures about what their behavior. So, yeah. Anyway, it's just weird. So, yeah, this is Miss Patterson and her exaggerated, New England accent telling these kids how horrible they are, and that they are just spoiled, and they think they can do whatever they want because they have daddy's money. And I felt like maybe this was an attempt, because she kind of gets very, I don't know, maybe a little too like mean. I don't know. Mean's not the right word. A little too,
aggressive. Yeah.
aggressive. That's the word I'm looking for. Like she's like, you guys are just horrible kids. All you think you can run this campus because you have money. And I'm thinking, okay, I wonder if this is an attempt to maybe paint her as a red herring as well. Because now we're thinking, oh, well, she hates these kids. Because remember, she was even this way with Bernadette. So I'm wondering if, she's supposed to be a red herring. Is this old broad killing people?
Yeah, she's unfortunately, she's a character who, like, I really wanted to see, and I'm not to like ruin what comes, down the line, but you don't get like a closure with her character or a kill. And I was like, fuck. It literally, as I was watching this film the first time, I was like, ugh, if this dame gets it, she's going to get it good. She, like, I want her to have the best kill in the movie. And after a certain point, she just kind of goes away. And it sucks because she's honestly, like, one of my favorite characters in the film. Because she's a no-nonsense broad. And you don't fuck with this woman. And she'll fuck you right back. Yeah.
She would have put up a fight. This bitch would have had the best chase scene in the movie.
Oh, she would have had a fucking handgun and she'd have been ready to go. Mace, a cane, something. But yeah. She's not a fan of these kids.
So she leaves after she, disciplines the kids, and again, a scene that's just like, what? Why do we need this? But it's the professor. Professor goes into his lecture, and he is doing something with like electricity and bringing like frog legs back to life or something. And there is a kind of scene where what is his name? Rudy has turned on like the electric machine. Yeah. So the professor's hair is like standing straight up. Yes. And he's like, oh, the thing you don't know about electricity is it can be, blah. And he touches Rudy's nose and like the most fake looking electric charge.
Animated.
It's so funny. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's so like in a movie like this, it really like took me by surprise, and not in a good way. I was like, oh my God, like, why did that seem like the right choice to make in this like suspenseful horror movie? Because it looks very hokey, very cheesy.
But anyway, I guess that watching the frog leg kind of come back to life and start like kicking prompts a flashback in Virginia. So she has a flashback of being in the hospital in like some CAT scan machine, and they're testing her. They have her head in there, and when the doctors leave, she awkwardly sits up and's like, "It's my birthday," and then it just cuts to her being in the office with the doctor.
Those flashback scenes come out of fucking nowhere, and again, like taking the budget of the movie and just splooging it all over the walls. They've got these like random she's like, I thought it was like a shock therapy scene, and it's very weird. And if you're, it's so out of left field, and like they use these transitions where they'll use these kind of cool moments to transition into them, where she kind of starts having these flashbacks, and you'll see like this kind of cool lighting cue. But God, they're so weird. One thing about this movie is like it kind of feels like they took everything in the kitchen sink and they threw it together into one script, and there's just so many layers to this onion, and you're peeling them back, and there's more, and there's more, and there's electrolysis, and there's a car drowning, and there's an alcoholic mother giving a big over-the-top performance, and like there's just so much. Like, what trauma did Victoria? Virginia, Victoria. What close enough. Yeah. What childhood trauma did she not experience? It just really is a lot. But yeah, so she has these flashbacks. She has a few of them. And they're kind of distracting, I feel. Yeah,
they are. And it's not like it doesn't like have a purpose.
It does, yeah.
This film at its core is like a whodunit and a mystery, as much as it is a slasher film. So not only are you trying to piece together who is doing the killing, you're also trying to piece together what specifically happened to Virginia that is causing her to have these flashbacks and these like behaviors that she has. But she's in the doctor's office, and this is when we find out that she has she's had some procedure that was like experimental, and she's the first human to get it. And what it is it's like some procedure that creates some sort of electric shield that then regenerates tissue. I was really trying to follow along with what the doctor was saying and how he was describing it. But what it did was it regenerated her. It regenerated the damaged tissue in her brain. Okay, and he's like, well, you're slowly starting to remember stuff, so you're going to remember exactly what happened to you, and it's all going to come back to you, and you're gonna know, and that'll be like the pinnacle of your recovery.
Yeah. However, the transition to this is another weird scene. You see this flashback, and all of a sudden you're just in this doctor's office, and like they eventually explain who he is, but like you don't really. She goes into these like weird trances, and then you never see her like snap out of it. All of a sudden she'll just be somewhere else. But let's just take a moment. This doctor, I don't know who decided that this was the right look for him, but this man has a shirt that is buttoned so low. It is unbuttoned down past his chest line. And he looks, it's very 1970s. He looks like a pimp. He does not look like a doctor.
No. Well, and it's Glenn Ford, who apparently did a lot of Western films in the 60s and whatever. So I guess, again, it gives the film some sort of, just value, star power to it, I guess. But yeah, he and her relationship is very interesting because she doesn't call him doctor. She calls him by his first name. David. The whole film, she calls him David. Oh, I want David. And there's many times when she's like freaking out. She's like, I want David.
If you thought the father-daughter relationship was sexual, just wait till you get your load of David and Virginia. David, who's roughly 60-something years old. Mm-hmm. I would assume maybe like 62. And at one point, he strokes her cheek beside a fireplace. There is a lot of sexual tension between these two. And I don't know why. I'm very confused. It really strikes me that Virginia is sexually drawn to every man in her life.
She likes the daddy. She likes the young, buff, hot boy. She likes,
And boy, do they like her.
She likes the nerdy. I mean, she's just trying to get some dick. I mean, yeah. So,
girl, I get it.
Yeah, but come on, let's not go for David or Daddy. Come on.
Yeah, let's be modest.
Yeah. And then this scene awkwardly cuts to a dirt bike race.
It does.
Another scene that did not need to be in the movie. It's literally 10 minutes of us watching a dirt bike race. And it's the French guy, Etienne, is racing. And he like knocks his competitor to off the track and he wins the race. Then everyone's like, oh, yay. And Virginia goes up to congratulate him. And lo and behold, he's like, well, I couldn't have done it without these. And he pulls out her panties that he had stolen from her room the night before. And, of course, she's like pissed. And she's like, you're a piece of work. And storms away from him. And Alfred is standing there and sees him and like gives him this like evil look. And he's like, what the fuck are you looking at? And, yeah, so was...
And then Alfred awkwardly walks literally into the camera.
And then...
Another very weird transition.
We cut to... Etienne is now working on his dirt bike in the garage. Mm-hmm. And there's so many scenes where the killer... It's almost all the death scenes have like a POV of the killer walking to the victim. So you see Etienne working on his dirt bike. He has it upside down, and the wheels are spinning. I don't exactly know what he's doing. And then you cut to outside of his apartment or his wherever he's at, and you see the POV of the killer walking into the garage. And it's very quick because the killer grabs the handkerchief, the scarf. This must be a Crawford Academy required apparel because all the characters, like we said, have it. It's a dark blue and light blue striped scarf. The killer proceeds to throw the scarf into the spokes of the motorcycle, and it pulls his face into the spokes, and his face gets, spoked off. Is that the right?
It's actually, it is quick, but the build up to it, it's like this slow walk shot, over the shoulder or of the killer moving in towards him, and he never sees the killer. One thing about this killer, and I don't want to say I necessarily like it, but I do kind of like that the killer has like a technique, I dare say. This killer is very discreet. Like, the killer sneaks. Like, some killers like to play cat and mouse. This killer tries to avoid it, I feel. A lot of these kills are handled very, like, he'll sneak up on the victim and then take them by surprise and kill them off, instead of having, like, a chase or a torture. And this is something where the victim never actually sees the killer coming. Like, his scarf is hanging down, and very gently the killer like grabs it without him noticing and just throws it into the wheel, and boom, he's dead. And you see like one gory shot of his face hitting the wheel as it's, because the wheel's spinning because he's working on it. The wheel is spinning, and you see like one shot of the face hit. But other than that, like, it's like a gore shot. The last shot you see of it is it's like a pulp shot, and you don't even really see the detail of it. You just know that you're seeing like a bunch of gore. Yeah. And it's actually pretty effective for being such a quick sequence,
Yeah, and the killer like revs the bike so that the wheel spins faster, which was kind of a little brutal touch. Yeah, I'm assuming these deaths were a lot gorier than what were shown. I think a lot of them had to be cut out or cut. I think this one was initially gorier than what is shown. I know that the Bernadette death scene at the beginning was gorier than what was shown, but I think the MPAA made them cut, as they did with many slasher films from the 80s. So after this, you cut to the pub, and the group is there waiting for Etienne because they're there to celebrate the fact that he won his race, but he doesn't show up. And neither does Alfred.
Yeah.
So they're like, where's Alfred? So Jenny and Anne decide that they're going to go look for Alfred. I don't know. This was another thing that didn't make sense. Why they chose Alfred to go look for and not the guy whose party it was. But whatever. They want to go look for Alfred. Even though, like I said, it wasn't his party, but they're going to go look for Alfred. So they proceed to go to his apartment. He doesn't answer the door, and they literally like, oh, well, let's just break in. And they climb through his window, and his apartment is, let's just say, pretty damn creepy. This is like a serial killer in the making. It's like Norman Bates / Ed Gein / Jeffrey Dahmer, because there are stuffed, like taxidermy stuffed birds everywhere, and animals like squirrels, rabbits, everywhere, like just everywhere on the walls, like everywhere. And then there are like body parts laying around, like fake body parts. And because apparently he's into like making like fake body parts, like, makeup, special effects stuff. But there's also like this platter that's sitting on the table, and it's covered with a sheet, and it's all bloody. And they're like, well, what is that? What is that? And Anne goes to proceed to pull the sheet off, and it is Bernadette's severed head. In all its glory, like staring at them. It looks real.
It looks extremely real.
Yes. It's probably really the actress's head is stuck through the table because it looks really real. Yeah. And they freak out and they turn to run, and Alfred just happens to be standing right behind them.
The timing couldn't be better.
The timing could not be better. And up until this point, Alfred has been a pretty cool character.
All of a sudden, in this moment,
and all of a sudden,
just like every other man in this film, unreasonably creepy.
Extremely.
Irrationally creepy.
With no rhyme or reason, he is like, oh, you guys found her. Poor little Bernadette. She's my masterpiece. She was my model. You two would be good models. Like, just like that. Like, it's really insanely creepy. Yeah. And then he proceeds to walk over to Bernadette's head, stick his finger in her eye and pull the eye out. And guess what? It's fake.
What are the chances?
I have so many questions.
I have so many questions. I mean, it's so strategically placed. Like, even if it was fake, just seeing that, and like with the events unfolding as they do, he would be my number one suspect. I'd be like, what are the chances that he has a dead girl's head bust in his room? Whether it's fake or real, I don't care. It is very creepy to me. This is just a hobby? You're telling me this is just a hobby he has? It's weird, and it's creepy.
It's super creepy. And did Bernadette really agree to this? Did she really, oh yeah, you can make a severed head of me? I mean...
Yeah. Questions.
It is so weird.
I have more questions than answers.
And it's never explained. No. It's never revisited again, because after this scene he goes right back to being the cool, just nerdy Alfred.
Yeah. He seems to almost be the one of the guys, other than this moment, one of the guys that Virginia is closest to.
Yeah.
They have a lot of moments where they communicate one-on-one together, or like they'll be off in their own little conversation.
Well, yeah, because at the very first scene at the pub, he wants to buy her a drink,
right.
And she's like, "No, you know the rules. We don't buy each other. We buy our own drinks."
Right.
So you can tell there's a little something between those two. Yeah. So after this whole encounter with Bernadette, they cut back to campus. Apparently, it's the next day, and Virginia is being called into Mrs. Patterson's office. Okay. Because now everyone's starting to get concerned because Bernadette has been missing for a couple days now. And her dad is calling, wanting to know what's going on. And when Virginia goes into the office, she is actually talking to Bernadette's dad on the phone. Mrs. Patterson is. And she then proceeds to, again, question very aggressively Virginia about where Bernadette is. She's like, I can't believe you two would not know. You would not know we're 2 of the top 10. We have 2 of the top 10 missing. You guys have to know. And she's like, no, we don't know. And then again, she reiterates the fact that she hates the top 10 because they're rich, they're snobby, they act like they're better, they can get away with anything. And then she gives Virginia detention, which again, very high schoolish. Mm-hmm. You don't get detention in college. Yeah. So again, so weird. Very so weird.
And then as Virginia goes to leave, she takes a phone call and she literally answers the call. And I think it's the French boy's father, because she answers the phone and she goes, "Bonjour, Mr. Ambassador." It's so weird.
It's Etienne's father. Yeah. He's an ambassador.
Yeah.
As Anne and Jenny are walking out, they basically both think that Bernadette and Etienne just ran away together because apparently they were having a fling. I don't know. Everyone in this film is fucking everyone. Can we also say that?
Everyone. The whole group of the 10 leads, I would think that 2 of them would be a couple, and all of a sudden they'd be fucking 2 other people. It's very confusing. Very confusing.
They're like, oh, let's go to a movie tonight. It's High Noon. High Noon was the movie. Yeah, because Virginia makes the comment out of the blue, I love Gary Cooper.
Who doesn't?
I don't know. And then it cuts to them leaving the movie theater, and they encounter Rudy parked outside. How did he know they were there? Who knows? Because he is pissed because he was not invited to the movies. And apparently he has a thing for Meg because he wants to talk to Meg, but now Meg is at the movies with Steve, which is why she didn't invite Rudy.
This is one of the most emotional casts I've ever seen in a film. In general, like not just a horror movie, like they're always bickering amongst each other, fighting. They like the guys get Steve and Rudy get in a fight over over not being invited to the movies. They're getting in arguments all the time. They're yelling at each other. Then they're fucking. I mean, their hormones are just on high at all times.
Yes, because Rudy's like, you all can go to hell, and he like storms off in his little car. And again, that's that. I mean, it really doesn't do anything to drive the plot.
Right.
Except, again, maybe to now think, oh, well, maybe Rudy's a red herring because now he's mad at the group. But There's this scene is just unnecessary. Again, for a movie that's pushing 2 hours, this could have been cut.
Yeah. Yeah.
Easily, and it would not have affected anything. It's not driving the plot. It's not giving us any information about anything.
Right.
So once this happens, you cut to, again, just all these awkward, like scene to scene cuts that really I don't think they mesh very well. With Rudy and Greg almost getting into a fist fight. Rudy storms off, and then you cut to like it's the next day and Greg is lifting weights. I mean, I don't know. So this is a kind of an interesting scene. So Greg, the blonde stud Greg, is in his little workout room and he's bench pressing. And again, we get the ominous POV shot of someone walking in. And he thinks it's Amelia, his girlfriend. But when the person walks in, he's like, "Oh, it's you." So another one of those moments like Bernadette had where we know that this killer is someone that they know. So
someone they know.
The killer proceeds to go over to the weights, and Greg is like, "Hey, can you help me put this is too light. Can you help me put, more on?" So the killer's putting the weights on, and Greg's lifting, and he's like, "Oh no, it's still too easy. Put some more on." So the killer like puts the fucking biggest weight you can on both ends, and Greg proceeds to lift it, and then he realizes it's way too heavy, right? And the killer pulls the weight stand back so that Greg cannot put the weights back down on the stand. So he's literally stuck holding the weights above him, and we know they're heavy because he's like all red, he's tensing, and the killer takes one of the weights, and you get a nice like bold shot of him laying on his workbench or his workout bench, and you could see his bulge in his little shorty shorts, and the killer drops a weight on his dick, causing him to drop the weight bar, and it lands on his neck. And this is a pretty brutal death. I mean, it crushes his neck, blood squirting everywhere. How realistic is this? Because anybody that lifts weights or has ever lifted, not that I'm not the buffest person in the world, but at least I know this at least. That's one of the first thing you're kind of told or taught if you're ever lifting weights is if you're by yourself, and he's pretty buff, so I'm assuming he has a lot of experience, that if you're lifting weights and it gets too heavy and you can't put the weights back on the stand, what you do is you tilt sideways and just drop them. He could have easily done that.
Yeah, absolutely. This is this sequence is there's things I do like about this sequence. I'll say one thing I like is that he has this whole dialogue piece where he's talking, like just confiding in whoever the killer is. Like he's just kind of casually talking, and he doesn't really suspect anything until the very last moment when the killer pulls the stand away, and he's like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" And he's like taken by surprise by it. So I did like that. I thought there's something very uncomfortable about the fact that that these people don't when they see who the killer is, a lot of times they are initially they aren't afraid, or they don't find a reason to be scared until the very last moment because of that fact that they obviously know who the person is. So that's a unique twist. You don't often see that approach with a slasher. But yes, no, I do agree. Are there ways he could have gotten out of that situation? Absolutely. Is it one of the more effective kills in the movie because of the brutality of what happens? Yes, it is. It is pretty, especially the crotch. Like when I saw that, like what is about to happen, I was like, oh, that's such a bitch move. Like, why would you do that to that guy? But yeah, it is an effective kill. It's a bloody one. It's a fun moment.
And I think that that's one of the ones that was also cut. I think in the original cut, it was much graphicer in terms of blood and like lingering on his like face longer. Okay, so now Greg is dead.
This transition here, going to this next moment, you hear this voice rise up going, "Kill him, kill him, kill him," and it's like shouting, and all of a sudden you realize it's a sporting event, it's a soccer game, and it's Virginia shouting, "Kill him," as in like kill the other team. You know what I mean? Like, but it was cool. Yeah,
it's really clever. Yeah. It's really clever because it when you first hear it, it's very faint, and then it just kind of gets louder and louder. Well, we forgot Amelia. Amelia shows up, his, Greg's girlfriend. God. Yeah, and he's not there, but then she's wondering. She brought pizza, and as she's looking for him, a huge the weights fall from behind the door and scare her. And she's like just staring at him, and then we start to hear that kill him, kill him, kill him. Yeah, and it's Jenny at the soccer game. So now we get a dirt bike game, we get a soccer game now. A soccer game that goes on a little too long.
But boys in short shorts.
The boys in short shorts, and actually Rudy is the goalie. Not Rudy, Arnie. Or Alfred. Yeah. Alfred is the goalie, and I'm telling you, right? He looks pretty damn sexy being the goalie. He has his glasses off. Yeah, I'm like...
I thought the same thing. You know who else I think is kind of sexy? I'm going to be honest.
Rudy, yeah.
He's got crazy eyes, and he's got a sense of humor. I like it. That's my kind of guy.
Yeah, but this is the first time I thought, damn, Arnie, or Alfred. I keep calling him Arnie because he looks like Arnie from Christine. Alfred, you can get it now. I didn't know you did all that.
And for a soccer game, they've got a slew of Caucasian cheerleaders who are really just bringing it home with one of the highest energy cheer routines I've ever seen.
Oh my God, and each of them have a different letter of Crawford on their outfits.
Oh my God, it's so bland. It's like Wonder Bread. It's so lackluster. And like these girls have like no expression in their faces whatsoever. It has to be a high school. It has to be a high school. It's a high school.
And then Rudy and Virginia. So after Arnie blocks the goal, Rudy then makes the winning goal, so the team wins. And they're all excited. Rudy and Virginia hug. Meg, I guess, runs off because Meg was interested in Rudy, even though the night before she was out at the movies with Steve. It doesn't make any sense because Meg now acts like she's all mad that Rudy's hugging Virginia. But bitch, you were at the movies last night with somebody else and you didn't even tell him. And so Rudy asked Virginia to meet him in the chapel later. And all I kept thinking about was Lady Gaga. Meet me in Electric Chapel.
If we make a remake, I know what song cue's hitting there. There we go.
And so you get a weird shot. Again, it's some of this stuff just, it doesn't flow. Because, okay, so he tells Virginia to meet him in the chapel. The next shot is him running on the campus, and he's still in his soccer uniform, right? His little short shorts and his soccer outfit. He stops to, like, he sees a scarf is like has become unburied in this flower bed outside the building, so he reburies it. And we're like, okay, that's kind of weird. Why are you doing that? And again, red herring. There has to be red herring. It's just like, oh my God, can we stop with this? But then the very next scene is him and her at the bell tower, and he's in completely different clothes. And they climb to the top of this bell tower, and it's very cute at first because he's doing a Quasimodo impression, and you do get a little bit of dialogue where now we know that Virginia has been away from this school for 4 years. He's like, well, I remember you when you were, here 4 years ago. So we know something's up, something's happened in these past 4 years. And it's kind of a little cute conversation. Like I said, he does some Quasimodo impressions, and she's like, oh, you should swing from the bell tower rope. And he's like, oh. And then in a switch, like literally, what's he do?
He becomes a fucking creep. Again, and in the most blatant way possible. He takes a knife out.
Yeah, he's like, Virginia, I got a knife. And he pulls out a knife, and he's like, Virginia. She starts backing up because then he kicks the door closed so she can't get down. And he's like, and she starts backing away, and he's holding a knife. And he's like, Virginia, don't go away, Virginia. Come over here. Come see my knife.
I fucking would have. I thought he was... Listen, I got a thing for crazy-eyed guys. And I thought he was so hot in this scene. She's... You know what? This girl has literally every fucking dick in this school. Whatever. High school or otherwise. I don't want to say high school because I'm 34. But she's got all of them. Throw in their dicks at her. She's got the pick of the litter. And she's all she's doing is running away willy-nilly. he just flailing away. You know what? This guy, he looks pretty good. And I don't care how crazy he sounds. If that's what he needs, by all means, let's get it over with in the bell tower.
Oh, he was crazy. And again, this is awkward.
Very awkward.
Because he approaches her, and then all of a sudden we cut to droplets of blood hitting the floor below the bell tower. Yeah. No explanation of what it is. It's just a bunch of droplets of blood. Yeah. So we're like, okay, did he stab? Did he kill her?
Because it looks like he almost the way they cut out of it, it looks like he pursues her. It cuts away as though he's like almost going into chase. Because she like fades into the shadows. She like backs up into the darkness. And it looks like he's going to chase her, and then it just cuts to blood droplets. There's no explanation of what is causing it. But you're made to assume from that he maybe hurt her or caused some form of injury to her. Proceed.
Yeah, because then the priest comes in and he pulls the rope to ring the bell tower, and the rope has been cut, and it falls and hits the floor, and it has blood all over it. And the priest has blood all over his hands, and then the priest notices all the blood on the floor, and he starts screaming, "Murder! Murder!"
Oh my God, that priest. That gay priest. Yeah. Murder!
He really did. He made the most of his 3 seconds of screen time.
What a star.
Girl, he did. And then now we get, after the priest is screaming, "Murder! Murder! Help!" we see Virginia burst into the hospital. She's fine. I don't know. She ran to the hospital. Of all places to go after the bell tower, she ran to the hospital. She's looking for David.
To find her deep cleavaged lover, yes. David. And Dr. David.
There's some person's wheeled out or wheeled in and has like a huge head injury, and it causes her to have another one of these flashbacks where she is on a operating table and she's this is pretty disgusting.
It's gross.
Yeah,
they gross.
Saw her head open, her skull, and this is pretty graphic. Like they show they're using a saw, they saw part of the skull off, and then they pull the skull open and then like start poking the brain.
Shock Mahoo.
Yeah, right. God.
Yeah, and then they're like, one of the doctors like, her brain's swelling, and like
she's dead.
Her brain is like, the brain is literally like throbbing.
Yes,
like,
it's so gross.
Like the effect, it's so gross. Like, and it's so fake, but like it also is cool.
Well, and they're like, well, she's dead. She's dead. Quit it. Just put the sheet over her. And she's like sitting there. She's not dead. She's like crying.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And then she's in David's office and she's having a breakdown where she starts screaming, "He killed my brain! He killed my brain!" And she can't remember what happened to Rudy at the bell tower. She's like, "I blacked out." She's freaking out. Sure, her acting here is pretty strong.
Her acting, I would say, through the whole thing is pretty strong. I have very few complaints about the performances regarding the like the leads, the 10. I don't think anyone is really like a weak link per se in the sense of acting abilities.
Yeah, no, I think she was really trying to get out of the Mary Ingalls mold with this. Yeah. And she does. So the doctor's like, well, I'll go check the bell tower and see what happened to Rudy, because she literally thinks that she maybe did something to him. So now we're supposed to think that maybe she did something to him. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then we get a scene. The next scene is students being questioned in the library, and the police are there, and Miss Patterson's there, and one of the students comes running in and says, "Hey, they found something outside." So all the students that are in the library run outside, and the police have found the scarf, and they're digging up the scarf that we saw Rudy bury a few scenes ago. And as they're pulling out the scarf, they also find a skull. And everyone's like, "Oh no, oh no." And it turns out that the doctor goes out there and he wants to look at the skull, and he's like, "Guys, I think you better calm your tits because the skull says property of science department."
Yeah.
So what?
And everyone laughs.
But what was the point of who did this? Apparently Rudy did this.
Yeah.
But what was the point of I don't understand how it.
Honestly, I think they put red herring moments in for the sake of having them, which is a detriment to the overall storyline, because it comes to a certain point where, because you doubt everybody, you're not invested in who the actual killer could be. You get what I mean? Like, it starts getting to a point where, like, every guy starts to seem like a creep. Every guy is making weird choices. Every character seems to have, like, secret ulterior motives or secret things that are, like, weird things that aren't explained. And because nothing's explained, you kind of stop caring. I mean, I don't want to say I don't like this movie. I do enjoy this movie. I think it's fun and it's unique. But, God, some of the pieces, some of the dots don't connect. A lot of the dots do not connect, especially as the movie progresses. And you go back over some of these notes and you realize, oh, like that never really came up again. Oh, that piece of the puzzle doesn't fit. Like, you know what I mean? There's a lot of little moments like that just aren't necessary. When you said that this movie could have been cut down by like a half hour, yeah, it absolutely could have.
Yeah, it really could have. And
Yeah.
so in the library, Jenny is in there by herself, and as she's walking, like Rudy like drops down like awkwardly, like backward, like he's hanging from his knees basically, and he back flips down in front of her, and then falls to the floor. And he grabs her and like startles her and whatnot, and he's like. She's like, well, what happened to you? And he's like, oh, I cut my hand on the rope. Where did you go? He's like, you ran off and disappeared. And I cut my hand on the rope and had to have 14 stitches.
The amount of blood on that marble church floor was more than 14 stitches worth of blood. Let me first say. That looks like someone got stabbed in the jugular. The mess that the blood made on that floor. Second of all, this is the first time you really start to see this like coming together. He's like, yeah, where'd you go? Like, what? Like, don't you remember? Like, you start to realize that, and I guess this maybe is something where some of these weird edits start to make a little more sense. I will say, as you start to realize that there really are just moments, time lapses, in which Virginia is not remembering things. You're starting to understand that she's starting to have these moments where she's not remembering the events of like the night before, not remembering like periods of hours at a time, it seems. And that is explained by this former brain trauma she had. So there is a story in there, and I think some of these weird editing choices kind of start to make sense. Do I still like some of these techniques? Not really. But at least it seems like there's a purpose for why they edited it the way they did, you know?
Yeah. I think it was purposeful. It just was maybe not done as tightly as it could.
Agreed.
So yeah. So after this, there's another unnecessary scene of the remaining group, including Jenny. They're smoking weed like in this room that's like below the gymnasium pool. Because now Rudy and Jenny are together, right? They're sitting together and Amelia's there, and they're like, oh, they're just having a conversation about like where's everyone going out, we don't know. And then Jenny sees this body like slowly start to like float down from the pool. So she freaks out and runs out of the building, runs to her car.
Which is her go-to response for
just to run away.
Moment of trauma. Yeah, it's just a trauma did this girl not go through in her past. Because it is like one thing after another. Everything triggers something for her. Flee, no matter what. I did love that imagery of that pool sequence. In the moment, it was very like, oh, it was creepy. I liked it.
So she drives home and goes back to the cemetery for some reason, and she's at her mother's grave again. And again, someone's following her. So it's like these characters know exactly when Jenny is going to be in the cemetery, because someone always shows up when she's in the cemetery. When she's in the cemetery, there's always someone there. So how do they know where she's going to be? Whatever. We don't want to talk. We won't go into that. But it's Alfred. And this scene is handled pretty interestingly because as she's putting like flowers and stuff on her mother's grave, he is like slowly coming up behind her. And he gets up behind her and like very slow. This is very deliberate, very slow. He reaches into his pocket and starts to pull something out very slowly. Like I said, this is very drawn out. So we're thinking, oh my God, is he going to kill her? Does he have a knife? What's he doing? And at this moment, she turns around and stabs him in the fucking gut with some garden
What a
shears.
twist.
So
came out fucking nowhere.
Who had Jenny the killer at this point?
Totally out of left field. And he drops down and his hand opens up and reveals what he was going to hand her was this beautiful white rose. A symbol of his love. His obsession for her. Much like every other man in this movie.
Yeah, and she is like staring at him in the most like hateful way. She's just like giving him this horrible stare. He's laying there bleeding. So that's Alfred. So now we know Alfred's not the killer. We know Virginia is the killer. So we need to figure out like what is going on with her. Like what is prompting all this? Is she having psychotic episodes, or is she really like just a cold-blooded killer that's killing people? So she's back at the house. Jenny's dad now, Virginia's dad, has to leave for work. He has to go out of town. He says he'll be back for her birthday Sunday. And she's like, you better be back. He's like, oh, I'll be back, whatever. And he leaves. And now we go to the school dance.
Thank God for a dance.
Yeah, we get a good school dance. We get some characters dancing awkwardly, a bunch of white people.
Yeah. I do have to say at this point, I feel like, to me, I want to say that this movie feels like the Grease of slashers, because it has like larger than life characters. It has an even amount of female to male leads, 5 and 5. It has budding romances. It has quirky teachers. It has a fawn-eyed female lead. It has random race sequences. It has sporting events. It has cheerleaders. It has a dance. It is Grease, but it also has death. So in so many ways, I feel like this movie makes me think of Grease, and I don't know why.
Yeah, that makes kind of sense.
Yeah, I know.
Although, I mean, there's really no like main love interest in the film.
Everyone wants to fuck each other. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not like there's. It's like,
but that's very Grease. Everyone wants to fuck each other in Grease. There are worse things I could do. There's a whole song about it.
So at the dance, Steve is dancing with Jenny. And so I don't know. So it's kind of confusing because Rudy, who has been interested in Jenny all of a sudden, now goes to dance with Liz because Steve comes and asks Rudy to go dance with Liz because she wants him to dance with her. I'm thinking that's her name, right? The one with the crimped hair.
Elizabeth.
Liz. Yeah. Okay. So then Steve goes to dance with Jenny, who up until this point has seemed like she's into Rudy.
Yeah, and Steve has expressed no interest in her whatsoever.
No, except now. And he's like...
Interchangeable lovers.
Yes, he's like, well, we should get out of here. And she's like, ooh, really?
Yeah.
And seems so out of character for her. She's like extremely flirty.
Oh, she's so into it. But I will say this, Steve, out of all the guys... Steve gives me such big dick energy.
Yeah, well, he has that nose.
He's got the big.
He has that nose.
Yeah, nose. A guy with a big nose is a big dick. That's what I've always said. And he's lanky. He's like tall and lean, and he's got a lean, big jaw, big nose. I know he's packing, and I think Virginia knows it too.
She probably does. Yeah. So she invites him back to her place, and she's like, "I make some wonderful midnight snacks," and she's very flirtatious. She's like touching him, and she's like, "I make wonderful midnight snacks."
What a comment to say! I make the best midnight snacks. Like, it's not sexual. It doesn't really sound enticing. To me, a midnight snack is like a jar of peanut butter and a chocolate bar.
That's what I was gonna say. Okay, so literally they go back to her place.
Some chili.
they go back to her place, and they are sitting in front of the fire, and this Virginia bitch has made for midnight snacks. This bitch has made skewers of meat, shish kebabs.
Yeah,
like literally, this bitch has cooked shish kebabs as a midnight snack.
Yeah.
When I was in high school and if I invited somebody over to my house for a midnight snack, it was going to be Pringles and pizza rolls. I was not about to skewer meat. And she even has like the dipping sauces for them, like different bowls with different dipping sauces.
It's delicious. It really made me crave a shish kebab. I mean, God, they are the most decadent-looking shish kebabs.
They are.
Yeah.
And they, she's feeding him, seductively sticking the skewer in his mouth.
And then kissing his meat-filled mouth.
Roll around in front of the fireplace, and he's like, "Oh, my ass is getting hot."
I bet.
Yeah.
Tell me more, Steve.
So then she goes, and they sit back up, and she's dipping the shish kebab into the sauce, and he takes another bite. She's like, "That's so good." So she's like, "Oh, you want another piece?" And she takes it and dips it into the sauce again, and sticks it in his mouth, and shoves the fucking shish kebab through the back of his goddamn head. This is the most iconic death from the film. I think it's the cover art.
It is. The cover art is an angle that you don't really. I mean, like, first of all, the cover art makes it seem like he's just like,
Yeah, he doesn't see it coming.
He doesn't. He does not see it coming at all. Yes, it is the most iconic kill. And God, this girl has to have some fucking upper body strength to force that skewer through the back of his neck. Yeah. I mean, like, that don't sound like an easy task. But she does it in one foul swoop, and he drops dead, twitching and bleeding. But yeah, and then it cuts to her, and she's looking real coy, with a real satisfied grin on her face.
And he's like coughing up blood with the handle of the thing sticking out of his mouth. And I'm wondering, yes, you speak of the cover art, and I remember the cover art. The tagline is, there was a bunch of taglines, but one of them was like, 6 of the most bizarre murders you will ever see. And doesn't make any sense because these aren't really bizarre murders. Shish kebab is pretty bizarre.
Yeah, but I guess maybe for the time though, compared to like some of these other. I mean, nowadays we have the Saw movies to compare to.
Yeah.
In 1981, you had like knives through a door, knives through a face, knives through a stomach. Like you really didn't have. You had like maybe an axe, and this is like a shish kebab skewer. Motorbike tire, like it is different
a little bit
comparatively speaking, other products of the time.
Yeah, because and then they also say like, "Oh, John will never eat shish kebab again," but it's not John. They got that wrong.
Oh, John.
Who's John? We go to the next day, and Anne shows up. It's like noon. And Jenny comes to the window, and she says she can't remember anything about the night before. She doesn't remember anything. So she gets into the shower. She throws Anne the keys, gets into the shower, and she has a flashback of... This is when we get to kind of see what happens. Like, really what happened to her. Because we see a flashback when she starts the shower, and it's her and her mother in a car. And this is the first time we get introduced to the mother, which is a piece of work.
Oh, I love her. I would have watched a movie just about Estelle.
Estelle Wainwright, yeah.
What a name.
This is an alcoholic, like loudmouth, no shits given woman.
Yeah.
And she is like hysterical, drinking, guzzling vodka. She's driving 60 miles down the interstate. And the drawbridge is getting ready to open. And we hear her, she's like cussing out, like, we don't necessarily know who they are, but she's like, "Those goddamn bastards. I hate them. I'll make them pay for what they did." And the drawbridge is opening up, and she's drives on it anyways. And what happens is the car gets kind of caught on the bridge as it's opening, and it opens, and the car like falls into the river below, and fills up with water. The mom somehow is stuck now. She can't get the steering wheel has somehow she can't get out.
Yeah.
And she's telling Virginia, "You need to get out. I'll open the windows and you swim and don't worry about me." So that's kind of sad. She has to leave her mother to die. But as she's swimming up to the surface, she hits her head on a barge that's passing by.
A massive, massive barge.
Yeah. And you see an image of her like floating on the surface of the river with like blood, like just gushing, a huge pool of blood forming around her.
Thus the brain trauma.
Yeah. So now we know kind of what has happened to her.
It's a very elaborate sequence.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Again, this movie throwing its budget around like willy nilly, no big deal.
Yeah, no, because that would have to be a difficult scene to film with like going underwater and barges and drawbridges. And anyway, she comes to, she snaps out of the flashback, and the bathroom is now overflowing with water. And the shower curtains pull back. And when she pulls the shower curtain open, Anne's dead body is in this bathtub. Or a dead body is in the bathtub. We're assuming it's Anne because it's wearing the same shirt that Anne had. So at this same instance, or a few minutes later, she must have called David because he comes to the house. He goes up to the tub, looks in the tub. There's nothing there. So he's like, I don't know what's up with you, but this is when he realizes it's her birthday now. And gives her that kiss on the hand.
The sensual moments between these two are aplenty in this film, and it just gets progressively more sensual. It's very weird. But this is the moment where they're sitting in front of the fireplace, and yes, he kisses her hand, and he strokes her cheek, and he says, "Happy birthday." It's very sexual. It's very strange.
Yeah, and the next day, the police show up, and they're looking for Anne. Her car is abandoned across the street, apparently. The doctor, they want to talk to Jenny. The doctor's like, no, she's sleeping. And he goes up to her and talks to her about what happened before the mother and Virginia's car, and before their accident, what caused it. So now we get this flashback.
This scene is like something out of fucking Mommy Dearest. The woman that plays Estelle, she's got one shot to steal the show. And my God, does she steal the show. She gets the final bow with this movie. This woman is just gnawing on scenery left and right. And she's very scorned by the fact that none of these kids showed up to her daughter's birthday party.
Yes, that's the whole catalyst for this. It's Jenny's birthday party, and the mother has invited all of the Crawford 10 or the Crawford elite to her party, and none of them show up. Basically, Jenny tells them that they weren't going to show up because Anne Thomason, who's Anne now, that's Jenny's friend, was having a party, and they were all going to go to her party and not come to Jenny's birthday party because Jenny isn't important enough. And so the mother proceeds to get in the car, drunk off her ass, screaming, and drive to Anne's gated mansion. And is parked outside the gate of this mansion, honking her horn. And the dad comes out, and she is like, "You let my daughter in that party." Just causing a scene. And the dad is like, "You get out of here. You take your daughter and get out of here." So there's some sort of underlying issue that the mother is a whore. Well, we find that out, but it's just crazy.
And as he walks away, she's like, "God damn you!" She's screaming at the top of her lungs. It's very over the top.
Yeah, it is the rain. It's pouring rain, and her hair is all stuck to her face, and she's screaming, "You bastard!" So then she's kind of wakes up from the flashback that she snaps out of the whole situation we just saw, the flashback, and she proceeds to beat David to death with a fireplace poker after this.
Yeah, well, she wakes up and she's just losing her shit. First of all, Virginia wakes up and she's screaming, and he's trying to calm her down, and she obviously, it seems that she's in a trance because he takes her out of the room, and then he goes back into her bedroom, and he's like, "My God, what's happening to her?" And when he's not looking, you see her hand. The way they edit it's very weird, but there's a reason behind it. You see her hand grab the fireplace poker, come back, and in two beats, beat his skull in. But for the amount of hits to the head, there is a very heavy volume of blood. Like, I mean, I don't understand. For the amount of times that she hits this man in the skull, it looks like a super soaker just doused
I have
the bedroom.
Yeah,
with
I have
fake
the
blood.
same note. The blood is extremely excessive. I'm tending to believe this was like another death scene that was cut. Because she hits him like literally once or twice in the head, but the whole room is like sprayed with blood. It's everywhere. It's like dripping off of the shutters. It's like, what in the world? So he's dead. So she killed her beloved David. So now we know like nobody is safe because David was like her biggest like
Supporter.
confidant.
Yeah.
And like she beats him in the head.
Yeah.
So after that, Dad comes home, right? And Dad proceeds to find the bloody room, the bloody office where David was just killed. And he's like, oh my God, what happened?
And for like a moment, and like I hated this, and I'm so happy that there was like yet another layer to the onion. For a moment, it seems as though like the father is stepping up to the plate as like the final girl. Like it feels
Yeah.
And I'm like, the dad, out of all the people, like the dad really has no, like he is really very little screen time and no major impact on the overall like chemistry of the film other than like the part he played with like the relationship with the mother. But for a moment, like the focus shifts to the father. It is kind of weird. And the father like finds like the room, which looks like the set of Carrie. It's just covered in blood and like destroyed. And so he takes off a run-in, like looking for his daughter.
Yes. And he's like crying, like trembling. Yeah, very final girlish. Like he's trembling, his tears are streaming down his. And he runs out to the cemetery because apparently he knows this is where Virginia likes to hang out. And he sees actually a figure at the gravesite, his wife or Jenny's mom's gravesite. And so he approaches it, but it's not Jenny, it's Amelia.
Yeah, what the I was again never revisited. Like just when you thought this film couldn't get any more complex, it does. Like I don't know what she's holding, and she's holding a gift.
Yeah,
and she's like in shock with something, but like it's not really explained why she responds the way she does or why she's even
there is what I want to know. Why are you at this gravesite of your friend's mom in the middle of the night in a storm?
Yeah.
So her character is never revisited again. So there are a few characters that actually get away and live, and I'm surprised for as prominent as he was in the film, Rudy doesn't die.
Yeah. Rudy, Liz doesn't die. Amelia.
Rudy's never brought up. Rudy's never seen again after that last scene at the dance. So
it's just. I mean, I hate to be like it's disappointing, but I feel like for as long-winded as this movie is, my God, there were plenty of opportunities for a few more kill scenes, especially when it's going to boast like the wildest kills you've ever seen. Like, I mean, honestly, like. The body count, like it's not like it's sparse, but like there was plenty more room to kill off some of these characters.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. It's just interesting who they decided to kill and who they left to live.
Right.
So the dad sees basically that he sees it now awkwardly, and maybe this was why Amelia was freaked out because the mother's coffin has been dug up.
Yeah.
We get an awkward like cut to after Amelia's like shocked face. We get a cut to like the mother's coffin is now like laying over on the side of the cemetery.
Right.
And he runs over to it and there's a body in it, but it's not the mother. It is David. The doctor.
So, okay. I just got to say, this girl
has some strength.
Virginia. How does she have the strength or the time? How has she mustered up the energy to commit what is a mass, like I would say a mass murder? You know, she's killed at this point 6 to 8 people. I don't remember the exact count.
6 people.
Six people, I think. So she's a serial killer, not a mass murderer. She's a serial killer. She's killed multiple people. She's gone undetected. She has dragged and hidden the bodies. She's also had the time to completely dig up a grave, drag this old man to the grave, put him into the grave, removing the body that was originally in the grave from the grave and putting it in another location. This would take days.
Yes.
Just for the grave digging alone.
We're talking about a petite little 17-year-old.
A Fräulein. She's so frail.
Yeah. I mean, it's Mary Ingalls, people. Come on. She's digging. She's dragging middle-aged men who are.
Yeah.
I mean, David's not a small man. He was pretty.
Heavy set.
Yes, and she was able to drag him outside into the cemetery, put him in a coffin, dig up the. Yeah, it's just you have to suspend a lot of belief these last 15 minutes because this movie just goes batshit crazy and
it doesn't let go.
This isn't even the craziest.
Into the stratosphere of batshit crazy.
Yes. So the dad sees there's some like random cabin that's never been mentioned before or never been seen before, but now it's there. It's in the cemetery. It's a cabin, and he sees that the light is on. So he goes into the cabin, and what he finds is pretty shocking, grisly. There is there's a table, and all around the table, the birthday table, it's decorated with birthday decor, are all the dead bodies of all of the people that have been killed, including the mother, the wife. His wife is all decomposed now, and looks like Mrs. Bates is sitting at the end of the table, and all the dead bodies are there. And slowly we start to hear someone singing "Happy Birthday," and it's Virginia. She's walking out with a
decadent cake.
Yes, a decadent cake. She makes her dad sit down, and then
I love it.
Puts a party hat on him because, hey, this is a party. Yeah, it's a party.
I love it. That's my favorite touch.
Yeah, and blows out the candles.
Yeah. I gotta say, this whole moment here, I'll give this movie this credit. At least it builds up, I would say the most memorable sequence other than the skewer is this reveal. Because you get a really good look at all of the aftermath. You get to see all of the bodies. You get to see, the intestines hanging out of the stomach, the crushed throat from the weight. All of the different brutal kills and everything. You get to see these really nice kind of slow shots moving from body to body, which I did like to see that. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a very iconic I think it's a very iconic scene in horror, 80s slasher history. It's very, the body sitting around the table with the birthday cake. It's a very kind of recognizable scene. And actually another film did the same thing. I don't know if you ever saw it, called Madhouse. Has a very similar scene at the end where there's a birthday party and dead bodies are around. And I don't remember which one came first. I don't remember, but very similar scenes. Anyway, so as the dad is sitting there crying and he's like, why? She quickly slices his throat
and says, bastard. Just like the mother used to say.
Yeah. So now dad's dead. So
she's just killing everybody. Except
she goes over to Anne's body, who's been laying face down on the table the whole time because she was the one that was supposedly in the bathtub. And she proceeds to lift the body up, the head up, and it's
twins.
It's Virginia.
It's Virginia 2.0.
It's Virginia 2.0.
We get to see some Virginia on Virginia action for a moment.
Yeah, and she's like, sister dear, wake up. And
let's talk about suspending reality for a moment.
Yeah. Well,
because what happens here is even more irrational than anything else that's happened prior.
Yeah. Because she proceeds to try to stab Virginia with a knife. Virginia fights back and grabs the person by the face. And the face proceeds to peel off. And to reveal that it's Anne.
Anne. Wait, what? Yeah. Listen, Troy, you and I have both worked with a lot of prosthetic makeup in our day, considering our, our careers and so forth, what we do for fun and for a living time to time. And I'll tell you, I have never in my day seen a prosthetic mask that is that realistic. There is, I'm sorry, you can say whatever the fuck you want. You cannot convince me that I would make out with that mask like Steve did and not say, this isn't real. This isn't Virginia. This is a latex mask. Bullshit. I call bullshit on this one.
Oh, it's absurd.
Bullshit.
It is absolutely absurd. There is no way you're going to have a mask. And it's just it's just like latex. So how does it change?
Yeah, like, it's like, you see it. It's really her face until like you see the hand grab it and then it just comes.
So how does a latex mask change the like shape and like size of the face? Because Anne and Virginia don't really look anything alike. Their face, the shape of their face, their nose, nothing is the same. So you're trying to tell me they built a latex mask that literally changed the shape of her face, her nose. Not only that, the hair. Not only that, the voice.
She takes a wig off. Yeah, the voice. Well, and like, okay. And even like what's peeling off a latex mask, as I'm sure you've seen on a set, it leaves like residue and all kind, and she's clean, her face clean as a whistle. And then they try to like explain it off with a few bullshit lines being like, I mastered everything about you. How you talk.
In a year?
How you walk. Like, well, I'm sorry. No vocal coaching, nothing could ever make you become that girl. No. There's no way. It's bullshit. I call it bullshit.
The voice is exactly the same. Everything is exactly the same. And we're supposed to believe it's because of a little latex mask and a wig and her practicing her voice. Melissa Sue Anderson has a very distinct voice. Okay. I feel like you have a very distinct voice. I could never talk like you if I tried.
Right.
It's not going to happen.
No.
I don't.
No. This is such a shoddy bullshit excuse for like.
I don't understand what they were trying to pull with this ending. I know they wanted a twist ending. You know what? There could have been a lot of directions you could have went to give this film a twist ending without something that requires you to completely suspend any sense of reality, logic, because there's no moments that lead to this, if that makes sense.
There's nothing fantastical about this film. There's no fantasy. Like, everything is rooted in reality, but then even like the interactions and everything between the characters are very much like the average everyday youths. Like, they're trying to play them off like being normal individuals, but then you have some of these plot twists that are just so out of this world and like unrealistic, and those worlds don't mesh well.
Yeah. I mean, I understand. I think from what I heard in the original script, Jenny was the killer. And however, when they started filming, they thought that it was too predictable, so they wanted to change the ending. And in fact, the actress that plays Anne didn't even know she was going to be the killer until they were well into filming. And I think that explains a lot of some of the like inconsistencies in the film, or things that don't necessarily add up, because literally this whole reveal was tacked on during filming. It wasn't like the original script had this ending. The original script ended with Jenny being the killer. Right. It was the filmmaker who was like, "Oh, that's too real. That's too predictable. Let's throw in a twist."
And what does Anne say? Like her motivation for this is again?
Okay, I hate to because I feel like I bring this up every episode, but I'm going to say this again. Like I said with the final exam episode, like I said with the evil laugh episode, Kevin Williamson saw this fucking movie because her motive is exactly the same motive as Stu and Billy, or Billy's motive in Scream. Exactly the same. Almost verbatim the same. because her motive is Jenny's mother, Estelle, was having an affair with Anne's dad. Okay? Jenny was born from that affair. That's the big town secret. So Jenny's dad, who they have sexual chemistry with the whole movie, really isn't her dad. Anne's dad is Jenny's dad. However, Anne's mother found out about this and left them. And so Anne is getting revenge for Jenny breaking up her family. Exactly the same motive that Billy gives in Scream. Exactly.
Yeah. Dead on. Dead on. Dead on. Huh.
So Anne then proceeds to try to stab her, but Jenny gets the knife and stabs her in the stomach.
And if that would have been played off,
it's so quick. It's so
different way. Yeah. Well, if that whole twist would have been played off a different way, it could have worked for this film. But the fact that they had and again, because they filmed it the way they did, because they had it revealed that Jenny was the killer halfway through the whole, the scene in the cemetery, because they revealed that they had to come up with it. I mean, it's just it seems very shoddily put together, that whole final reveal moment. Cool in concept, ahead of its time, but doesn't work in execution. I really feel a lot of the moments in this film, they were more about the shock of the moment and trying to have what they thought were these cool sequences and tying them together with story than focusing on the
if
story,
you didn't, here's the thing is, if you didn't have scenes if you didn't have the scene like Virginia in the cemetery when she stabs Alfred, or the whole 5-minute scene with her and what's his name that gets the shish kebab, Steve, where it's very blatantly not someone wearing a mask. I mean, there's no way. She, like you said, they were kissing. I mean, it's
very obvious. Yeah. And they even tried to explain that off in the dialogue with Anne, where she's like, he was so stoned. Steve was so stoned.
He was so stoned. He didn't know.
He didn't even notice it wasn't you. But come on. I'm stoned on a daily basis. And if I was making out with a prosthetic mask, I'd be like, oh shit, that's not a real person. That's a prosthetic mask. I would know. I assure you I would know.
But it's also what is kind of shitty is it's such a tricking the audience in a way that's not fair, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you're not challenging their intelligence. You're just when I'm watching a movie like a slasher, I'm wanting to try to, giving me all these red herrings and everything. Sure, give me red herrings, but give me red herrings and give me a reason to have a payoff at the end. If you're going to do something where you're and then Anne got killed, and then, oh, lo and behold, it's actually Anne wearing a prosthetic mask, because that's reasonable. It's not. That's not fair. It really feels like it was kind of like a deflating balloon. That ending really, it's not that it's not well executed. Meaning the whole finale, it looks cool, but yeah, you're right. That final stab is kind of lame. And then the cop shows up. The cop who's only in one other moment, really. He's really not a big pivotal part, but he has the final reveal of being what have you done? And it looks like Virginia did all of it.
It's very rushed. This ending is very rushed. And yeah, the cop comes in and he sees basically Jenny holding the bloody knife and all the dead bodies. And he's like, what have you done? And she starts she's staring blankly. You can tell she's lost it. And then you get the voiceover of her singing happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to... It's very creepy.
Yeah.
But then the film just ends and the credits roll.
To what she technically, if you're going to go with this being the actual ending, all she needs to do is say, hey, get this exact replica of my face, test the DNA in it to prove that it is Anne who was masquerading as me wearing my face. Because what are the chances that there'd be a replica of my face?
Laying
on the floor, and oh look, she's wearing the same dress that I'm wearing. Come on, she'll be fine. She'll be able to explain what happened. But yes, she's also horribly traumatized.
Well, unless she goes into a catatonic state and can't talk, and they're just going to assume that she killed everybody.
Jenny.
Very convoluted ending. Very just suspended.
Convoluted movie. Very convoluted
movie. And I'm not saying I don't like the movie. I do. I like the movie a lot. It's very entertaining in parts. The movie suffers from pacing issues. It suffers from being too long.
Yeah.
And it suffers from a lot of nonsensical plot elements that don't pay off.
Yeah.
And the ending that requires you to suspend reality. It's not even suspending disbelief. This was just would never. It's bullshit. No. But the movie has a lot going for it. It's beautifully shot. It's beautifully acted. There are some suspenseful scenes. The death scenes are pretty dope. Executed well.
Yeah. I could have done with a few more. Considering the size of the cast, I would not have minded a few more deaths to balance out the time frame of this very long film. But yeah, you're right. Convoluted is the word of the day. It is a very long and drawn out film, and the overall the killer's presence is not a huge factor throughout the film. Like, the killer pops in, he kills, and then she kills, and then she's gone for large stretches of a time. So it's not like there's a ton of moments where the killer is really like omnipresent, which is something that I think would have helped as well, just because there's so much going on in this film, and like it's just, like I said, so many layers to the onion, and your brain kind of has to keep up with it, because some of these twists are just so nonsensical that you kind of are trying to like piece things together for yourself as the movie goes on.
Yeah.
But it's fun. I don't dislike the movie. I enjoy it. I had a good time. I have my gripes with it.
Yes, and I think I can't imagine there is anybody out there that would not agree. If you don't agree with us, please feel free to comment. But I don't believe there's anybody out there that would not think that this movie is too long and has several unnecessary scenes. I think there's about 5 scenes that could have been cut easily from this film, and it would not have affected anything at all. And I can't believe there's anybody out there that would think that the ending is realistic.
Yeah.
But with that said, it's still a fun movie. It's still a fun movie. It's an iconic movie. You're always going to remember the image, the artwork of the shish kebab going down the guy's mouth. I remember that being one of the more memorable, intriguing VHS cover arts when I was a kid, going into Blockbuster and Family Video, the horror section, and seeing that box art is always the one that kind of drew my attention.
Yeah.
So I'm not dissing the movie at all. I think it's a solid film. I wish I could go back, and this would be and I'm not usually a huge proponent for remakes, but this would be a movie that'd be ripe for a remake.
I agree. And another thing I'd really like to see is, speaking of the films that have had a lot of fat trimmed, or not fat trimmed, but, My Bloody Valentine. We've talked about it before, how when they finally were able to get their hands on the additional footage, how much that added to the film. And I mean, My Bloody Valentine is a great film to begin with, but God, some of those kill sequences just really got amplified. And I wonder if having some of this additional gore that got cut from this film injected back into it would help maybe even out the overall experience.
It might. I mean, I think it would help a little bit. It's not going to do much about the pacing issues.
No, I agree.
But it would give, an extra kind of visual payoff. But as far as pacing, it's not going to help. I mean, not that My Bloody Valentine is necessarily a well-paced film. It's much better paced than this. But My Bloody Valentine still has some, I think, has some pacing issues a little bit towards the middle of the film. But nothing like this.
No. This kind of drags.
Yeah. Well, not even drags. It's just there's unnecessary scenes. Like I don't. If I'm watching a slasher movie, I don't need to watch a 10-minute dirt bike race and a 5-minute soccer game that really have nothing to do with anything, that could have not been in the film and nothing would have changed. But again, folks, we are not bashing the movie. We love we love Happy Birthday to Me. I think I wouldn't say we love.
We like it.
We like it. It's decent. It's not the favorite film we've covered, but it's up there.
It's an admirable entry to the slasher genre, and has certainly had its influence in certain ways. I can see even like what you're saying with the Scream influences. You know what? This is just another one of those movies that I'm sure went on to influence other films within the genre and beyond, both better and worse.
Well, I mean, I feel like this film definitely gave the whole birth to the twist ending, like out of nowhere twist ending. Because then several films that followed this went, because I can't think of a movie really with, well, I mean, like Psycho had a twist ending, but it was nothing like this where it's just so out of left field. But then after this, I can think of like movies like The Initiation, that had very convoluted twist endings that required you to suspend some disbelief. But this is a good film. So, and that's My Bloody Valentine, folks. So,
My Bloody Valentine.
Well, no, it wasn't My Bloody. See, I was talking about My Bloody Valentine. That was Happy Birthday to Me. I guess we're gonna have to do. I guess we're gonna have to do My Bloody Valentine at some point because
I
have it on my goddamn brain. Apparently,
I love the remake as well.
Oh, the remake's good. The remake is so good.
It's so good.
So speaking of what you tell you, what's our next film gonna be?
It's my turn. God, I'm excited. You know what? So I'm like I said, I'm going to be in Colombia for a week. When I get back, I need to get back to my American roots. And what better way to get back to my American roots than by watching the 1988 iconic John Hughes directed classic, American Gothic.
American Gothic.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
What a treat.
I know. We're doing something a little different this time, I figured. I've been going kind of sci-fi as of late, and I was like, Roger, let's just get back to our roots. So, we're going to do American Gothic. That's my entry for next week.
So that is the American Gothic, guys. If you haven't seen it, it's Yvonne DiCarlo, Rod Steiger, Michael J. Pollard. It is a treat, and that's all I'm going to say. This is going to be a wonderful conversation because this film, if we thought this film was crazy, American Gothic is
just you wait,
right up there. Yeah.
Batshit. It's cuckoo fucking bananas.
So check it out if you haven't seen it. You actually have a little longer time to watch it because, like I said, we're going to have to skip a week of recording. So we'll be back. But we gave you an extra long episode with this one because we're at the 2 hour and 2 minute mark. So you have plenty to divulge yourself with.
Savor every minute of our sweet melodic voices in your
Roger's
ears.
going to be living it up.
Well, maybe we'll come in like at the tail end of the weekend. But until then, you're going to be playing this one on loop, and after that, you're going to be reviewing it. For the love of God, give us a like, give us some love, write a review. It's the same spiel every week. You know what to do. But yeah, hopefully.
Absolutely. Thank you for the one person that gave us a 5-star rating on iTunes. I did notice that we did get another. We went up now. So thank you. If you actually write a review, not just hit the star, and you actually write a review and leave your name or your little nickname, we will shout you out.
We will shout you. We will praise your name.
So please do that. 5 stars. And we will keep talking over 2 hours about 80 slasher flicks with you.
You'll be our first official fan of the week. Mm-hmm. And who doesn't want to be the official fan of the week on Dark Night of the Podcast? Right, Troy? Exactly. Until then, we're our own fans of the week. We are. And in saying that, happy birthday to me and happy birthday to you, Troy.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed. And again, American Gothic.
We will see you for American Gothic, guys. Have a great week.
Yes.